Greetings everyone, I'm Neerav Khambati, Managing Partner at Kaizen West, an impact investor that focuses on the future of work and learning across South and Southeast Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. And it's a great pleasure for me today to be talking about the fabulous opportunities in the space of impact investing in education. The long-term prosperity of any nation relies heavily on its ability to educate and train its citizens, enabling them to contribute to their own growth and society's well-being. In fact, each year of education beyond high school increases an individual's earning potential by approximately 10%. For a young and populous nation like India, the prowess of its education and skilling sectors will determine whether its demographic profile becomes a competitive advantage or leads to a disaster. While the United Nations recommends that every country spends at least 4% and preferably 6% of its GDP on education, India's figures have been hovering at around 3% in recent years. This is where impact investing in education and skilling can play a crucial role in nation building. Impact investment opportunities in education and skilling can be categorized in 4 buckets based on the learning stages involved: preschool, school, and that includes both primary and secondary education, tertiary education, and here I include vocational education, although strictly speaking, vocational education straddles across both secondary and tertiary education, and post-tertiary, or what is popularly referred to as upskilling. Each of these stages offers billions of dollars worth of profitable and impactful investment opportunities. Let's start with preschool. Children between the ages of 3 and 5 are in one of the most important phases of their brain development, and India has roughly 40 million children in this age group. As many as 30% of these children are not enrolled in any form of development program, and even those that are enrolled received inadequate instruction. This lack of quality early childhood education facilities is a double whammy. It leads not only to students entering schools underprepared, but also hampers women for resuming work after their maternity break. Fortunately, successful enterprises such as Hippocampus, an organization that began as a preschools operator in urban and rural settings and currently operates around 50 early learning centers, and Founding Years, a provider of around 150 premium daycare centers in partnership with India's leading corporates, have already emerged. And given the size of the addressable market, there is a room for many more such companies to flourish. In the school sector, as a nation, we've done a commendable job of getting our children into school. However, there is a lot of work that needs to be still done to ensure that our children stay in school and achieve the desired learning outcomes. The country's primary enrollment rate is close to 100%, but then less than 80% children make it to secondary schools. And most alarmingly, less than 30% of our 10-year-olds can read a simple sentence, making quality of school education one of the most pressing concerns for us as a nation. India, in this context, is home to the world's largest private schools market, with 90 million children attending one of the 400,000 private schools in the country. To put these numbers in perspective, there are only about 1.5 million private schools globally, of which 400,000 are in India alone. And what is truly incredible is that 3/4 of all these schools are able to sustain themselves without any form of government support, despite them charging less than $10 a month in fees. Besides in setting up and running these schools, there are opportunities in providing services such as textbooks, technology and training to these schools. Tata ClassEdge, Exceed and Lead schools are some illustrations of companies that are leveraging these opportunities, and one of them has even gone on to become a unicorn. Coming to the tertiary sector, colleges and so on, less than 30% of children receive any form of college education. And therefore, institutions that prepare those students who cannot attend college for the workforce are very critical. Many of these institutions provide technical and vocational courses that offer a much better return on time and fees than college programs. Successful organizations in this domain include LaborNet, an entity that has nurtured over 1 million careers in the past 12 years, and Pravasi Rojgar, an organization that provides job search and upskilling opportunities to blue-collar workers, and an entity that received as much as 250 crore investment from Temasek-backed Good Worker in the year 2020. Even students that attend college in India face enormous challenges in securing employment upon graduation. According to the World Economic Forum, only 1 in 4 management professionals, 1 in 5 engineers, and 1 in 10 graduates are employable out of the 13 million people who join India's workforce every year. And it is to bridge this education to employment gap that companies such as Career Labs and TeamLease EdTech provide industry-relevant training to college students, and companies such as Upgrad and Scaler offer post-college education and training. The two factors that have driven the most amount of excitement and innovation in the education sector in India in recent years are technology and finance. With the decreasing cost of devices and cheap bandwidth, entrepreneurs have made high-quality learning accessible to millions of people across the country. India has emerged as one of the largest EdTech markets in the world, with several unicorns operating in the sector. EdTech has been particularly successful in the areas of test prep and upskilling. Companies such as PhysicsWallah and Adda 247 offer affordable online courses to students in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities and have found much favor amongst its audience. In the financial sector, companies like Avance and Eduvance have seen significant growth by offering flexible financing options to students and to educational institutions. Vartana is a company particularly noteworthy because it provides small loans to affordable private schools and tertiary students, thereby promoting financial inclusion in the low-fee education sector. Just in the past 3 years itself, India has attracted around $2 billion of investment in the education sector across around 120 deals. And given the size of the Indian market and the amount of importance that families attach to education, this figure will only keep growing in the coming years. A word of caution though for those interested in impact investing in education. For an investment to be truly impactful, it is vital that the resultant product or service is made available as widely and affordably as possible without compromising on quality. Unfortunately today, there are many barriers that hinder India from achieving the SDG 4 goal of quality education for all. These barriers are in the form of lack of affordability, gender disparity, physical and learning disabilities, language differences, lack of physical and or digital connectivity, and so on. And unless impact investments are able to systematically dismantle these barriers, there is a risk that high quality education will continue to remain a preserve of the elite and the problem of social inequity that plagues our country will get further exacerbated. A novel approach for investing in education with a focus on improving learning outcomes for children, particularly from the underserved families, is via impact bonds. And while impact bonds is a separate topic by itself, perhaps difficult to cover here today, it is a matter of great pride for all of us that India has emerged as a world leader in experimenting with education impact bonds. I hope you enjoyed this session and found it informative, and I welcome you to the world of impact investing in education. Thank you and good luck.